The business value what EVA helps us accomplish and to create a work environment and culture, be better managers, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And about 7 years ago, I came in on the HR team. Now I'm the Director of Sales Operations and Enablement. LightEdge is a leading provider for data center colocation and compliant cloud with highly regulated businesses such as hospitals, banking and finance, and regulated SaaS industries. We have offices and data centers in Kansas City, Omaha, Raleigh, Texas. It was a very crazy time. We moved to be remote, I believe it was mid-March. The challenges of that work-life balance and what our employees are experiencing while working from home, we definitely see both ends of the spectrum. Not having that physical boundary of work and office has really enabled some people to work around the clock. Another aspect, I know we have people who can maybe become more easily distracted, or they have, all the kids and are facing the challenges of, we are tracking the activity levels. That optimism and pessimism that we get through the burnout index with EVA has been really critical in allowing us to keep a pulse on how our employees are doing. Something whereas, on the HR side, that's in the past been a gut reaction and something that we feel and we sense when we talk to somebody in person. Well, if we're not having those frequent conversations in person that we had in the office once upon a time, this tool can at least help us put a flag up, whether it's us reaching out to the employees or notifying the manager that, hey, something might be going on, we should dig in. Not just to wait for an employee to be frustrated and come to us, but as an organization, and we hope our managers, are staying engaged and being proactive to help lessen the stress and the frustrations of their employees where they can. Having a trigger like the burnout index and those activity indexes help us kind of to see things that we wouldn't have been able to see prior to partnering with EVA. We started partnering with EVA prior to the pandemic. During the pandemic, I think this has been pretty critical to help us stay in tune with the stresses of our staff and to make sure that as a company, we're doing what we can to mitigate and offload those stressors and to create a work environment and culture that our employees are proud of and will want to stay with. The first example that comes to mind relates to one of our sales directors. We've, with the pandemic, that team's been under a lot of pressure to perform and to hit some big quotas still for our company. Hours of extra time working and highly engaged to try to get his team to accomplish the goals. And it was a very stressful quarter. We started to see his activity index dipping, and I know his VP, our sales VP, started to ask questions, and they've got a very good relationship, so it was easy to have the conversation of what's going on, how are you feeling, what can we help you with, and we did uncover that the stresses to hit that end of quarter expectation and the amount of work he was doing to make his team successful and the time he was putting into that was really having an impact on his morale. And I think he flat out told me he was burnt out. And not that he didn't love what he was doing, but he was just working so hard. At the end of that quarter, we were lucky to accomplish, the goals that he was set out to do. And as a management group with him, we really tried to alleviate and give him some downtime. And we did watch and see that he went out of burnout and quickly was re-engaged and had that little rest that he needed to prepare for the next round, because it's always moving. And this group is responsible for, hundreds of thousands of dollars in quota attainment for the years. It would have had a big impact. It's half of our sales quota, so it would have had a big impact. And in this use case, it would have impacted the performance of that entire team if that individual were to continue, down the burnout path and resign. So we're lucky that we were able to identify a frustration as quickly as we did and do what we could to alleviate some of those pain points for that employee to keep him with the company. Having the data that we get with EVA, we can start to see things that we may not have been able to just ourselves. So the AI of this tool helps us gain better visibility into the performance of our teams, into the makeup of our people, so we can make the right decisions as a company to build the teams that we need.